Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us on News 360. I am Noble Crosby Annan.
And I am Judith Brown, coming up with a bulletin this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
This evening, Education Minister announces comprehensive welfare package to motivate and retain teachers in rural and hard-to-reach communities across Ghana.
Also coming up, Ghana Standards Authority struggles to maintain standards in markets amid consumer complaints of unfair foodstuff measurements.
Also tonight, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson directs security personnel at the Lubo border to intensify vigilance as over 1,500 Ivorians seek refuge in Ghana ahead of Côte d'Ivoire's October 25 elections.
We'll bring you some international news much later as Israel carries out a wave of airstrikes on Gaza after Israel Defense Forces and Hamas accuse each other of breaching their ceasefire agreements. You're welcome to the program. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Let's get interactive there. Well, let's start the bulletin from here.
And teachers in Ghana's rural and hard-to-reach communities may soon heave a sigh of relief as the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, has announced the introduction of a comprehensive welfare package aimed at motivating and retaining teachers. Stanley Niebler reports that the policy is scheduled for implementation next year.
The initiative, dubbed Teacher Dabre, will see the construction of 3-bedroom housing units for teachers. The move, according to the Education Minister, is to address one of the major challenges deterring educators from accepting postings to remote areas due to lack of decent accommodation. At an engagement with the media in Accra, Haruna Idrisu emphasized government's commitment to ensuring that teachers are adequately motivated to deliver quality education.
A successful learner or a quality learner is always a product of a better and a good teacher. Would invest in teacher education, their own professional development and capacity development. What's important is their conditions of service and welfare. I've discussed with the administrator of the Common Fund and the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. We would initiate the Teacher Dabre into 2026. We'll begin with some 3-bedroom for teachers with the idea that they may live to own those properties. But let's get it started.
Currently, basic schools in deprived areas such as Avukope, Bojikope and Germany on the Drive Island in the Kwewu Afram Plains North District of the Eastern Region are struggling to retain teachers. Many classrooms remain unmanned, while pupils are taught intermittently by volunteer educators due to the inadequate presence of trained teachers. Educational infrastructure in these areas also remains in a deplorable state, with some schools operating under makeshift structures.
Good. Clap for him.
The shortage of teachers has led to poor academic performance and reduced interest in schooling among pupils. For many teachers, the lack of accommodation and poor living conditions have been major deterrents to accepting postings to deprived areas of the country. The new Teacher Dabre policy, they believe, could finally provide the relief they need to live and work in comfort. This is not the first time a government has made such promises. In January 2022, former President Akufo-Addo announced plans to construct 10,000 housing units for teachers before leaving office, a promise that never materialized.
60 years ago,
Being a teacher, even a pupil teacher, was a respectable and fulfilling job. And a teacher could build a decent house through his or her salary alone. Unfortunately, we cannot imagine such a scenario for today's newly qualified teachers, or even teachers who are near retirement. This is not good enough. And that is why my government remains committed to the development of affordable housing for teachers all across the nation.
Despite the unfulfilled past pledges, teachers are holding on to a glimmer of hope that this latest assurance by the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, will yield tangible results. At Avokope and surrounding communities, teachers and parents alike have welcomed the news. They believe that the provision of decent accommodation will encourage more teachers to stay, improve attendance, and enhance teaching and learning outcomes. As Ghana's education sector continues to grapple with challenges of teacher retention and infrastructure deficits, the success of the Teacher Dabre initiative could mark a turning point in bridging the rural-urban education gap. For teachers in deprived communities, the promise of a decent home is more than just a shelter. It is a symbol of dignity, motivation, and renewed hope for the future of education in Ghana. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, Thomas Tanko Musa is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers and NAT. He's joining us with more details on this particular subject. Good evening, sir. Now, this is not the first time a government is making such a promise of affordable housing units for our teachers. With this particular Teacher Dabre initiative, how sure are you that government will really implement this? Have they given any assurances?
Yeah, so thank you very much. Good evening to yourself and to all your viewers and listeners. Teachers, as we are, we normally don't give up hope. We believe that no matter what happens, one day our expectations will be realized. I think the news item that we just, you just aired on your broadcast now, it was said by the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at our National Delegate Conference in Kumasi. In fact, I had a personal discussions and other related matters with him when that promise was made that they will ensure that at least 10,000 houses were built for teachers. But as of the time he was leaving office, that could not be done. And with the coming in of the current president, same promise has been made.
Right.
And like I have said, we're keeping hope alive. But we always want to remind the politicians that anything or any seed they sow in the life of a teacher, they should remember that seed is sown towards the fight against child labor. That seed is sown towards the fight against poverty. That seed is sown towards the sustainability of our democracy. That seed is sown to ensure that we'll enhance our productivity. That seed is sown to ensure that we avoid class society, where those who have will have more, and those who don't have will not have. Take for example, the current the galamsey fight that we are engaged in now. Look, just imagine that, assuming that all the people that are involved in it, they are all have setting up, they have some kind of skills. I don't think that they would have gone or engaged on all those things. It is because when it comes to education, we sometimes make a promise but take it for granted. I believe that this time around, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, through the Honorable Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, they will ensure that this promise to see the light of day, at least to have a 3-bedroom house where a teacher can rest in, to ensure that regardless of where the students are, they can get their teachers to teach them. Look, let's for example, as the Bible says, that where 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of the Lord, God is with them. In the same way, where 3 or 4 are gathered in the name of education, a teacher must be there.
Right.
But how can the teacher be there when that teacher is not resourced? So please, we should remember, please let me add this particular thing. I think the World Bank has already told us somewhere in 2018 that 55% of our human capital will go waste because of the quality of education we are giving to our children. And we cannot take these things for granted. Our future is at stake, and we are all not safe. We go on the path we are treading now.
Now we know that lack of accommodation is a key factor, reason why some teachers are refusing postings to especially deprived and underserved rural communities. Now, how will this project, if successful, help address that particular subject?
Exactly. See, when these projects are put in place, the teachers can easily go there, knowing very well that they have a place to stay. They have a place where they can keep the teaching and learning materials. They know that they have a place to sit, to prepare all the lesson material they need to prepare and other related matters to get it done. Look, when a teacher goes to the village, it is not just the reason why the teacher should go to the village. It is because he cannot discharge the service he's providing from his body. And so he will go there with his body. But when he gets there, he needs to provide, number one, provide all the services that will be needed there. How to help the children in terms of the content, the curriculum, the pedagogy and all that. He must be there to get it done. And so in preparation, the teacher needs a decent place to sit to do the preparation before you can impact. And I've always been saying this, in teaching, there are three things involved. You are dealing with the cognitive, you are dealing with the affective, and you are dealing with the psychomotor.
Right.
So the three domains you are dealing with, editing is not something that you can just get up and go and do it. No.
Unfortunately,
that is we are professional.
That's all time has for us now. Many thanks for your time. Mr. Tanko Musa is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. He's been giving us more details on the new teacher Dabra policy that's set to be scheduled next year.
Let's still stay on matters concerning education, but take you up north, because less than 20% of pupils who sat for the Basic Education Certificate examination in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region between 2018 to 2025 passed the exams, a situation described by stakeholders in education as worrying.
The North Gonja District Assembly has 17 junior high schools, comprising 16 public and 1 private school. Since 2018, the performance at the basic level has been abysmal. Data from the District Education Directorate revealed that less than 20% of students who sat for the Basic Education Certificate examination between 2018 and 2024 passed, with the 2025 results also looking poor. In 2024, for instance, out of a total of 446 pupils who sat for the BEC exams, only 78, representing 17.7%, passed. Out of this number, only 5 pupils passed in all core subjects, with the highest aggregate for the district being 21. District Director of Education, Kofi Apiate, describes the situation as alarming.
This year, we have not received the result, official result from WAEC. We don't receive the certified results. So when we receive it, we will sit down with the team, review it, and see the strategies that we can come up with to make sure that we improve the performance.
Despite intervention by the Member of Parliament for Daboya Mankargu and the North Gonja District Assembly, the challenges still persist. Member of Parliament for Daboya Mankargu, Mahama Shaibu, attributed the situation to inadequate education infrastructure.
I want to say that before the end of 2028, we should have this resource better than we have come to meet it. At the stakeholder meeting, we want to motivate teachers who want to leave the capital and be in the communities to teach.
In 2023, a survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in the North Gonja district revealed that more than 70% of the population in the district are illiterates. The challenge facing the North Gonja district is similar to those in other rural-based districts where inadequate teachers and poor learning environments persist. It will take holistic efforts by the government and local authorities in collaboration with the parents and teachers to tackle the issue. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Daboya.
Now, away from that, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has urged security forces at the Lubo border to remain vigilant ahead of Côte d'Ivoire's October 25th presidential elections. The call comes after reports about 1,500 Ivorians have entered Ghana in the last 3 months seeking safety. Irama Smith has more.
Ivory Coast is scheduled for its presidential elections on October 25, and already isolated cases of disturbances are being reported. Also being reported are some Ivorian nationals moving into Ghana through the Lubo border and other unapproved routes. It is on this premise that the Western Regional Minister on a visit to the border cautioned the border security to remain vigilant.
The situation is still very fluid. And so let's keep our eyes on, the inflow so that we're able to check the security side of things so we don't have any surprises with your eyes wide open so we don't get any criminals slipping through, the system to pose a challenge to us as far as our security is concerned.
Deputy Commissioner of Immigration Joshua Kreku of the Lubo Command disclosed that these persons do not usually declare themselves as asylum seekers upon entry, but often later appear in refugee camps.
Rationally, people are taking precautions by leaving the country to find safe havens, and then maybe after the elections, if everything is fine, they go back. So we have also noticed that the numbers are going up maybe. But there isn't a situation where people are carrying their bags to cross the border to go there.
Fearing a resurgence of election violence, some Ivorians are reportedly seeking asylum in neighboring countries ahead of their presidential elections. This mirrors a pattern from over a decade ago when post-election turmoil forced many to flee, with a significant number finding refuge in Ghana's Nzima enclave. Information being picked by TV3 News indicates approximately 1,548 Ivorians have entered Ghana within the last 3 months, though their precise locations remain unknown. At the Ampain refugee camp in the Elembele district, we learned there are almost 400 Ivorian refugees here. Didier Denyan is an Ivorian refugee.
Vous savez, dans un pays, quand on respecte la constitution, la démocratie, il n'y a pas de problème. Mais quand la constitution est foulée du pied, ça crée le désordre.
In a country, when the constitution and the democracy is in respect, there's not issue. But when they want to go over it, this is how civilian war comes to the country.
Ils ont éliminé les candidats potentiels à l'élection présidentielle.
Yeah, they just eliminated some of the potential candidates.
Il faut lui dire que quand la CPI a blanchi Laurent Gbagbo, en principe, on doit le rétablir au pouvoir.
He said when the former president came back of jail, they set him free for every charges. So normally, according to the rules and regulations, he was supposed to be put on the election list, but the government in charge refused.
C'est ce qui va que le désordre. Donc, c'est cette peur-là qui fait que les Ivoiriens fuient plus viennent ici.
This is the reason why most of Ivorians are running to come to Ghana, because they already experienced some past problems.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Ampain.
Well, from border checks to market checks, the Ghana Standards Authority says one of its core challenges in the execution of its mandate is maintaining standards in the informal sector, although efforts are underway in addressing that concern. Now, consumers mostly complain of being shortchanged through traders' own measurement of foodstuff. In the following report, my colleague George Queening, he assesses the viability of a possible standardized measuring system to be introduced in the markets.
Adjoa Suhum has been selling plantain for more than 35 years. She goes by the name Adjoa Suhum because she sources her produce from Suhum in the eastern region. With more than 3 decades in the business, she tells me she can identify the weight of the commodity just by lifting it. But are consumers getting value for money?
Kasi the scale ba na ye de ni nyina ya I think say me no enye de emwa me.
The scale will not favor me. if it applies to all commodities at the market.
Alima is aware she has been shortchanged multiple times at the markets. The weight of a watches stew has never been consistent over time.
Because rice now.
If only it will help. Why not? Because even in La Côte d'Ivoire, rice is weighed.
There's inconsistent and often inaccurate nature of measurements when it comes to the market. The size of an alonka, for instance, is not standardized, varying from one market to the other, often leading to consumers being shortchanged. In the sale of onions, there's a popular practice known as chocking. Sellers support the commodity with each other, creating more vacuum and space in the container. Chocking is mostly done to shortchange customers who are bent on beating down the prices. Asante explains.
Some customers don't pay what is due, that is why we chalk the onions. If I can get value for money, then I am all for the scale.
In the tomato business, traders create holes in the container whilst arranging the commodity for sale.
It is the actions of the customers that make us do this. Sometimes their prices are not good.
Some civil servants share their experiences, demanding an immediate solution.
Especially buying gari, tomatoes. You see, when the measurement, the cans they use is so bad. Some are very small, but they will load it before they put the stuff in. So you get home, then you realize what you bought is very little. So you don't get the value you wanted.
For the sake of the market women, let me express myself in Chi. You see, almost the seed in the pear. Sometimes they put it in the can they use, they put it inside and they put the food stuff in it. So you will not see, you the buyer, you will not see what the can entails. They do certain things to it that you get home and you realize you don't have value for what you bought.
It's a good idea, it will help, but talking about our country, Ghana today, they'll find a way here and there to adjust their skills.
For butchers who welcome the intentions of the Ghana Standards Authority, the space requires sophisticated measuring skills which cannot easily be tampered with and also affordable for all.
Imagine somebody coming to buy in a market and then the scale has been adjusted. You know, you will not get a value for money.
These complaints and many more have been emanating for a long time now. And is this practice happening at the blind side of the Ghana Standards Authority, or are they aware of this? If yes, what is the authority doing to regulate that very space? Well, let's engage the Deputy Director General of the authority, Clifford Frimpong.
You are buying even yam, they put it in their hand to just listen and tell you the price instead of putting it on a scale. If something is working, that is when you don't need to change. But it is not working. You and I know that the Olonka, there are a lot of tricks being played. They can, sometimes you pour whatever is in it and you see it is packed with either paper, sack, dresses, whatever. So instead of the food, it is being maybe 3/4 or half. If right now it is weighing scales they cannot buy, can we get something that will make sure that things are even on the field?
Experts have suggested it will require some concerted effort to ensure standardization is practiced across trading centers.
The consumer is there to check us, to make sure that we do the work. It's a mandate with 3 of them. 1, promote industrial growth. 2, facilitate trade. And the 3rd one, and the most important, protect consumer. So if your trade is growing, but the consumer is being cheated, my mandate is not fulfilled. So I have to make sure that I certify all the 3.
The Ghana Standards Authority Act 2022 Act 1078 gives the GSA legal authority to inspect premises, seize inaccurate devices, and prohibit the use of non-compliant equipment. The Act empowers inspectors to seize the weight, measure an instrument for the purpose of comparing the seized weight, measure an instrument with a working standard. It is an offence to obstruct an inspector in his line of duty. The GSA will have to intensify its enforcement to ensure consumers are not shortchanged while purchasing goods on the market. George Queenan, TV3 News, Accra.
Nice report there by George Queenan. Let's speak with Apia Kusia-Dumak, who is the director of the West Africa Regional Center, CAT International, joining us. Mr. Dumak, thank you. Good evening to you. A lot of revelations there, a lot of tactics. Some call it tricks. Some are using weight by their arms. Some are using the eye test. But what are the biggest challenges in the Ghana Standards Authority as it faces in enforcing standards within the informal sector?
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers of TV3. I think the issues of non-conformity to measurement in our marketplace is wide. It even predates the colonial regimes. And 2025, October 20th, October 19th, today Sunday, you go to the market, you want to buy gari. As you know, there are different types of alone cans, and you are unable to even compare and contrast whether you are getting a better deal. So this is a problem that has lived with us. However, progress has not been made significantly. Far back in 2001, when Honorable Osafo Maafo was the Minister for Finance, there was a report that he wanted to compare businesses to do, and even giving a tax holiday for those who want to import measuring weighing scale. But it appears that the private sector kick against it because they know that once it comes, they will not be able to cheat the consumer.
Right.
So I think that the best way out is that if you are a consumer and you go to the market and you want to buy something and you go and there's no proper measurement, don't buy. And once people get to know that consumers have started shying away from those who are not using the proper measurement, and then the private sector, the market women will start to go and buy the weighing scale. You go to the mall, of course, our market, our economy is largely informal. Right. You go to the market, everything is informal. But when you go to the formal shop, like the Melcom, the Palace, the ShopRite, you get even common spring roll is sold based on the weight. Okay. Rice is sold on right. But when it comes to the market, and I think that government, as you know, the Standards Act also is very emphatic on these measures in terms of making sure that there's a conformity to this weight and measures. And so maybe I would want to urge government to kind of make it a priority in terms of waiving taxes on all weight and measurement for the next 5 years, so as to be able to increase the uptake of weight and measures as we go to the market.
Government can do that, but it will beckon on the market women, the traders, to want to use it in their business. You heard the woman, she says if that is introduced, it will not be profitable for her business. So you know how the informal sector is. Briefly, how viable is the introduction of a standardized measuring system in Ghana's informal market, especially for products like foodstuff?
No, the thing is that if, for example, it is introduced and the public, the consumers become aware that, let's say, a kilogram of rice is less, or a kilogram of yam is 50 cedis. So the consumer going to the market knows that a kilogram of rice of yam is 50 cedis. So if I go and you want to sell yam to me with just a normal yam without any measure, I'll not buy. I'll go to where I know that I'm going to get it weighed. So as soon as the market women and the market men get to see that people are not coming to them because they are not using the weighing scale, they will start going around to get the weighing scale. So let's give incentive. Maybe once they start, they will say that if you are a market lady and you are using a weighing scale, you pay 50% of market tolls, so that to kind of give them incentives for them to use it. I think it's possible. Other countries have done it. When you go to a Francophone country, even common banana, if you want to go and buy banana, they put it on the weighing scale and then give you the cost. Why can't we do same here in Ghana? And I think that we can do it if there's a commitment.
Siadomako, thank you so much for joining us. He is the Director, West Africa Regional Center, CATS International, speaking with us there.
Now, for many farmers in Ghana, government programs and policies such as the Feed Ghana program will ensure agricultural transformation, boost domestic production, improve food security, and reduce import dependency. With climate change as a key limiting factor in achieving sustainable agriculture, especially in the northern part of the country, farmers want government to ensure timely access to farm inputs and implements.
The Feed Ghana program was officially launched by President Mahama in April 2025 in Techiman. The goal of the program is to address challenges like low productivity and high food import costs, thus ensuring food security and propelling economic transformation through agriculture. Key components include support for various crop and livestock development, establishing farmer service centers, enhancing value chains, and promoting agribusiness for youth. Alhaji Isaaku Mahama is a commercial farmer in the Karaga district. He's been into commercial farming since 1997 after he exited parliament as the first member of parliament for the then Gushegu Karaga constituency. For him, the Feed Ghana program, if carefully implemented, will be a game changer in the agriculture sector.
As a farmer, I like government to be more proactive, to introduce every crop desk officer so that government can take stock data on crop by crop so that sustainability and efficiency of production will be adhered to, and then the program thereby succeed.
Like Alhaji Isaaku, many farmers have lauded the flagship Feed Ghana program. They, however, want government to ensure that farm inputs are made available at the right time.
Government should try to help us with support, maybe soft loans that can cushion us to do our farming. All the inputs that we use in the farming season is not an easy task because it's too costly. Things are costly. Buying fertilizer, chemicals, and other things are not easy. Look at how the farm is very neat because we keep on applying those chemicals and fertilizers to it so that we can get a good yield.
On institutional farming under the program, the Central Gonja District Assembly has cultivated over 30 acres of maize, which is due for harvesting.
The need to go beyond training, sensitization, and possibly facilitating farmers to benefit and implement these policies. But rather, the institution as an assembly should be model institutions, implement the programs for other institutions and farmers to witness. And that is how come this farm was established.
With recent reports of farmers experiencing glut due to unavailability of buyers, government must ensure there is ready market accessibility for farmers. This will ensure that more people venture into agriculture, creating jobs and reducing Ghana's dependence on high food imports. A reduction in import costs will in turn help strengthen the Ghana cedi and improve the purchasing power of Ghanaians by lowering food costs. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Karaga.
You're still watching News 360 right here on TV3. We'll go for a very first break. When we're back, we'll do more news. Do stay with us.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability
stage. Sanctioned by the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson and supported by the National Securities Brigadier General Musa Waja retired, the 2nd Infantry Battalion and the Western Naval Command, the operation led to the seizure of 7 excavators and 18 water pumping machines. 1 pump action gun was also removed. The team destroyed all makeshift structures at the site. Notably, while 2 excavators were unserviceable and the team removed the control boards of 3, the operatives also successfully tracked and located the other 2. In a departure from earlier raids where miners used spiritual charms, security forces this time discovered only a solitary Bible left behind in the abandoned camps.
The intelligence we had is that there is serious activities of anti-galamsey along the north-south forest reserve that is close to Dumping. In the course of the operation, we came across 7 excavators. Unfortunately, 2 were unserviceable. 5 were quite good, but the control board has been taken. We managed to secure 2 and remove the control boards of the excavators, and they have been sent to Simpa police station. Additionally, we had 18 water pumping machines, and then 1 pump action gun. There's the need for us to sustain that operation, looking at the devastation of the Noy Forest Reserve. So we hope that there will be subsequent operation for us to get rid of all those who are operating along the Noy Forest Reserve.
Iroma Smith, TV3 News, Takwa.
Now, the fast depletion of the Red Volta East and West Forest Reserves, also known as Tilly Forest Reserve in the Nabdam and Boko West districts of the Upper East region, continues to be due to illegal mining activities, sand winning and infiltration of herdsmen. These activities are endangering wildlife species that depend on the ecosystem for survival. Large portions of the forest have been destroyed and the Red Volta River has been polluted.
Tilly Forest is a wildlife corridor located in the Nabdam and Boku West districts. The forest has over the years served as a habitat for elephants and other wildlife. It also provides protection to the Red Volta River, which flows from neighboring Burkina Faso through the Nabdam and Boku West districts into the White Volta. However, illegal mining activities, sand winning, and the invasion of herdsmen along the Red Volta Basin are rapidly depleting the forest reserve. Illegal miners have pitched camps deep in the forest and mine with impunity. Some cattle herdsmen have also settled in the middle of the protected area, causing widespread destruction. Deputy Upper East Regional Manager of the Forestry Commission, Mark Edujemfi, is worried about the impunity with which human activities are going on in the forest.
We are not doing enough to protect our water bodies and the forest. You know, this Red Volta is a tributary of the Volta River, and whatever happens here flows through the Volta River. And the forest is only protecting portion of the river. So we don't even know what is happening when the river leaves the forest, because the forest we saw in 20 years ago, it looks like it is virtually gone.
He noted that illegal mining and other human activities remain a threat to the environment, including aquatic life.
Galamsey operations, they use chemicals. And the chemical component, unless you take the water to lab to check the chemical component of the river, it will be difficult for foresters to, come out upon seeing it that the river is heavily polluted with metals or any other chemical. But I wouldn't rule out the possibility of the water being heavily polluted, because these boys, they wash them into the river.
12 persons are currently facing prosecution for their illegal activities in the Tilly Forest.
This is News 360 right here on TV3. We are going for a second break. We'll be back with sports. Don't go away.
front of goal. Moroccans bring the ball down now. Can they get a decent crossing? They win a corner kick from the effort of Oliveira. Corner kick advantage to WAC. Christopher Lodge. Oh, what a goal! What a sublime goal! Words of jubilation. Corner kick thrust in nicely by Lodge. And just look at the response. A non-drop piler of a shot from Joseph Bakasu. It's a long ball forward once again. Goalkeeper Kamara comes forward. He handled the ball. The advantage is there.
Heading over now to the Ghana Premier League, the results from game week 6 continue to trickle in. Suedru All Blacks dominated in the 2-0 victory over Basake Holy Stars, while Aduana Stars emerged victorious, collecting all 3 points in a 2-0 win over Hohoe United. Elsewhere, despite playing away from home, Accra Hearts of Oak defeated Brekum Chelsea while keeping a clean sheet with a goal each from Hamza Issa and Mauli Wayo. Let's take a look at the highlights and the post-match interviews for the Phobia game.
Corner for Hearts of Oak. And Paku swings one in. Oforenchi nearly conceding. And that's the opening goal. Hamza Issa has put the Phobians ahead at the Golden City Park in Brekum. It's Chelsea 0, Hearts 1. Oforenchi desperately tried to keep the ball away, but he just couldn't stop Hamza Issa. His first goal of the season is corner taken. Mensah's header. And Hearts of Oak have the second goal. Mauli Wayo doubles the Phobians' lead. And Scott.
All the teams are in the Premiership, and so you can expect that it's an early season fixtures, and then every team is still very, very strong, and then every team tries to consolidate what they have. And then it was just to solidify our back line and also to give us that stability in order to still build up from the back and find the necessary pocket spaces where we can be very, very decisive and then positive.
We created a lot of chances, we squandered all the chances during the second half. It's quite unfortunate the corner kicks that hit the bar and then entered the pole again. And the worst thing about the red card that we got, our goalkeeper, during that time, we have made all the changes so that there's nothing that we can do. Keepers over there, but this one is going to affect, it affected us during this particular match, but when we go back, we know what to do so that we can organize another set of goalkeepers so that they can replace him.
Proceeding now to the English Premier League, Tottenham started well, but once again, flattered to deceive in the end. A Rodgers and Buendia-led comeback resulted in a 2-1 victory for Aston Villa. Meanwhile, an 84th minute Harry Maguire goal spelled defeat for Liverpool at the hands of Manchester United for the first time in 9 years at Anfield. The game that ended 2-1 also featured goals from Brian Mbeumo and Cody Gakpo.
3 moments against Liverpool in the past. Mbeumo is in, and Manchester United score with Anfield celebrates the equaliser.
Along with a brand new car and cash prizes, Etonam from the Volta region, Sika from the Ashanti region, Asakia from the Upper East region, Ajoko from the Greater Accra region, and Nana from the Bono East region. Who will take home the crown? Let's now cross over to the National Theatre in Accra, where our reporter is on site to give us an update on the atmosphere and what to expect.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko, and tonight we're coming to you live from the National Theatre, where the grand finale of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2025 is going to be taking place. It's been an amazing past 13 weeks, and tonight we get to crown our winner. I hope that you are voting, and so we're going to find out which of these 5 finalists that we have on stage today are going to be crowned the winner for this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. But we need to find out how the atmosphere is, right? There are a lot of people here, the noise is loud, everybody's cheering for their favorite person. And again, I hope you are voting for your favorite. But I have someone here, an amazing lady, you know, the queen, the reigning queen, Ghana's Most Beautiful 2024, Queen Titiaka, is joining me. Sweetheart, first of all, you are looking stunning.
Thank you.
How are you feeling tonight?
It's mixed feelings. I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, and I can't wait to see what the ladies have to offer this evening. I'm sure they are going to give us a showdown.
They will give us a showdown, but I just want to find out from you. By the end of the program tonight, you get to hand over your crown. I know it's been an amazing run, but from your point of view, what would you say to that next queen that you will be hanging the crown over to?
Okay, what I'm telling the next queen is that TV3 has given you the platform and you have the crown, and it's your key to open any door that you want to open, so long as you put your mind to it. And make sure you leave a lasting impact. They should leave their footprints on the sands of time, and they should make sure they leave a legacy. Yes, go back to your people, show gratitude, and make very good use of the platform, because after 1 year, you hand over.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to leave you to go in your glory and enjoy the program. We're going to be talking to you. Maybe after the show, we'll get into contact with her as well. But I have some more queens gracing us today, looking all stunning, looking all bright. And I have this very fine lady here giving me, please give me a 360. Yes, we love that. You're here in your beauty to support the ladies on the stage. What are you going to tell them from your point of view? This time you're on the other side, you're watching. So what are you going to tell them if they're watching this thing right now?
So all I can tell them is to do their very best. Today they should bring all their A games and pray to God, because today anything can happen. Yeah. So I wish them the very best in the competition.
Well, we're going to catch up with you. Hopefully you have so much fun today. Just going there, enjoy yourself, and we'll catch up soon. All right. Well, again, I hope that you are voting as much as you can. Every single vote that you have kept, and make sure that you are putting it in. I've seen that the voting polls are going crazy. And so hopefully by the end of the program tonight, we get to find out if your queen or our queen gets to win the event. Well, that's it here. And right at 8 p.m., right after the news, we go live from the National Theatre. So make sure you do join us on TV3. My name is Noella. Good evening.
Right, thank you so much, Joanna, right there at the National Theatre. And if you are not there, make sure you make your way to the National Theatre, as GMB 2025's grand finale is happening tonight. And if you cannot be there, make sure you stay tuned to TV3. Crosby.
And of course, you need to pick up your phones or log on to the GMB app and vote for your favorite contestants so they can emerge as winners of the competition. But that's our package for you tonight. There's always more news on our website, 3news.com. Thank you so much for spending your hour with us. I'm Noble Crosby Annan.
And I am Judith Brown. Have a good night.